Welcome to another vlog. We are not off to a good start. Avery is poorly. She has come down with another viral infection by the looks of it, and I knew it was coming. I've been saying for weeks her reflux has been bad, her dystonia has been worse. I knew something was coming. We can just tell nowadays, and Avery seems to brew something for about 2 to 3 weeks before it actually kind of hits its head. So she's all snotty, she's a little bit dopey and tired, aren't you, Pudding? Coughing all the time. Yesterday she had quite a horrible horsey sounding cough. And then yeah, today she's just woken up really snotty. Her poor little eyes were all stuck together this morning as well. So we will be keeping a very, very close eye on her, particularly tonight, because if the last time she was poorly says anything, then we could very well expect seizures tonight, especially if she spikes a temperature before she goes to bed. She's already had some paracetamol today. I'm going to try and keep her as dosed up as I can with it, without, you know, taking away the ability to be able to give it to her tonight, because obviously you can only give it, I think, 4 times in a 24-hour period. So I need to make sure that we have enough left, you know, enough chances to give it to her overnight, because it is usually night time when things happen. So I imagine a lot of today is going to be spent cuddling. I did give Avery her nebulizer this morning, and then I'm just now feeding her. So we've just got back from dropping the boys off at school. Normally I would feed her before the school run, but for the sake of sort of 40 minutes difference, I decided to wait. Number one, so that she definitely absorbed all of her medicines and her paracetamol. And number two, just because I wanted to give her the nebulizer, I didn't want to irritate her or anything. And now, you know, I can actually hold her and feed her instead of being in a rush getting ready to take the boys to school. So she's having her feed now. She's still chatty, aren't you? Hey? Are you shouting at me? We knew it was coming. Just got to keep a very close eye on her. Make sure she doesn't have any seizures. If she does and it is prolonged, then we do have the rescue med, but then it would be a case of taking her to hospital. Hey, Pudding. Yeah. Yeah. Her SATS monitor kept going off last night, so I had a terrible, terrible sleep. It wasn't her oxygen. Luckily, her oxygen stayed fine all night. It was her heart rate, which was a bit up, which is to be expected, especially with her being hot and snotty. And she's just working a little bit harder, so her heart rate was up. SATS monitor kept waking me up, which is a good thing, but it was nothing to worry about, was it? Gonna feed her now, and at 9:30 she's actually got an appointment with a disabled children's family worker. So yeah, just that appointment today. Luckily it's not really a therapy appointment, so Avery doesn't need to do anything. When she's poorly like this, I do just take a break from all therapies, because she has to work hard in therapy. She has to work hard to do a lot of what she does anyway, but if I was to be getting her in a stander or putting her on her tummy, she'd have to work even harder, and right now I just want her body to focus on mending her and getting her better and not therapy. So bit of a break from therapy, Puds, not for the right reasons, but hey ho. Avery's a disabled children's family worker is not long left. I've just sat with Avery while I ate my breakfast. So I think the disabled children's family worker is actually bowing out. I knew this was going to happen. The reason why they were on board in the first place is because we were allocated some hours for a PA to help get Avery out of the house. Now, since we moved closer to the hospital, that isn't so much of an issue because I can get Avery to the hospital on my own, and we are within walking distance to the town centre, so I didn't want to feel like I was wasting someone's time just trying to find things for them to be useful for. So they're essentially going to be bowing out. I mean, we'd been looking for a really long time and didn't find one anyway. We were only allocated 6 hours, and to be honest, I wouldn't blame someone for not wanting to take on 6 hours a week. So it is what it is. I can always reapply for the funding when Avery's a bit older if I feel like I actually need the help, but I just don't want to waste someone's time. I also found out yesterday that Avery's disabled children's OT, occupational therapist, is also discharging her from the service, which I was a little bit shocked about. I had assumed that because Avery's needs are always going to evolve and change and adapt as she gets bigger, that they would just stay on board, but apparently not. She had the pee pod and the bath seat from them, and now they've discharged her, so not too sure how I feel about that. I'm a little bit annoyed, to be honest. I feel like they would have been a good service to kind of keep on board, because obviously Avery's needs are going to change, and it's not going to be long before they change again because she's getting bigger and she needs more, and yeah, it's irritated me a little bit, but again, it is what it is. So I received something in the post last week. I was sent a Wild deodorant to try out. Now, I've obviously heard of Wild deodorant. It's been all over social media for a really long time, but I'd never actually tried it myself. And they actually sent me one to try out. I'm not under any obligation to talk about it or say good things about it. I'm not being sponsored by them or anything, but I just wanted to mention it because, number one, it smells really, really good. I can't remember the scent that I've got. It's ocean something, I think, and it reminds me of holiday, but not holiday in the sense of, like, you know, coconut, like sweet kind of scent. It smells like fresh holiday. I don't know how else to describe it, but it smells really, really good. I've only been trying it for a few days. So far, so good. I can still kind of smell the scent at the end of the day. And I like it. What I also love about it actually is, well, A, the fact that it is refillable, so it's better for the environment. You can just get the little refills off their website, so I am excited to try out some different scents. I will definitely continue to use it, but because it is actually a solid deodorant, which I've never tried before, I've always used like liquid roll-on or spray deodorant, it would be really good for traveling because it doesn't eat into your liquid allowance. Now, they did actually give me a discount code that I will leave in the description bar if you wanted to try it out. So far, I do really, really like it. I really like the scent. Obviously I can't give you like a long-term review because I've only been trying it out for a few days, but so far so good. So speaking of travel, I have spontaneously booked us a little last-minute getaway. I mean, it's not that spontaneous because I did kind of ponder about it for a good few days before actually booking anything, but that is as spontaneous as it gets for me. I like to make sure I can work out numbers and logistics and if it would work, and do a lot of research before I actually book anything and commit to anything. But again, that is about as spontaneous as I get, and it's not overly last minute. We're gonna go in August, so we have a few months yet, but ever since we got back from Orlando, obviously Disney blues are a thing, and I just loved the way Avery loved the heat. I loved the way Avery was out there. She was so happy and so content, and I'm just dying to get her back out into a hot climate where there's a pool nearby that she can dip in and out of. So I decided to book us a little trip to Spain. It's all inclusive and it's for 5 days, but it does work out that we get about 4.5 days there with the flight times and whatnot. It's flying from a much closer airport to us, which is nice. We don't actually have to trek all the way over to London this time. Yeah, all inclusive. The boys can eat and drink as much as they want. They've got activities for the kids. They have kids clubs if they want to participate in any of that. Mostly I'm excited about the fact that they can eat and drink as much as they want. They have the pool right there. I also made sure to find a hotel that has a like a kids pool with a slide and stuff, because they really enjoyed that in Orlando. and it's actually an accessible hotel. They have kind of the chairlift that goes in and out of the pool. They have accessible rooms, so I thought it would be a good option for Avery. So we are staying in Tourier. Now I've probably completely butchered that. That's probably not how you say it, but that is kind of how it's spelt. And the hotel looks really nice. It looks nice and clean and modern, and that is kind of what we need. We did have to book 2 rooms because their maximum occupancy in a room is 4. So Josh will stay in a room with 2 of the kids and I will stay in a room with 2 of the kids, but I have already contacted the hotel, asked them if they can room us together, not together, but you know, have our rooms close to one another. They asked me if I needed a bath or a shower, so I've asked for a bath for Avery. They're going to put a travel cot in the room. They don't have kettles, but they said I can get hot water from the cafeteria to clean Avery's tube. And they have mini fridges in the room, which means that I can store Avery's milk properly and not need to take a bottle per feed like we had to in Orlando and in Paris. So it's just something for us to look forward to. I'm really excited to get Avery back out in the warmth. And we get warm weather here, don't get me wrong. It does get nice and warm some days in the summer, but it's certainly not guaranteed. And we don't have a pool to dip in and out of, so Avery doesn't particularly love being outside in England, like in our garden, which is really strange because she lived to be by the pool in America. So I'm looking forward to getting her back into that environment, and the boys can have fun. We probably will hardly see them the entire trip. They can, like I said, eat and drink as much as they want. They will be happy. It's something to break up the summer holidays. Again, gives us all something to look forward to. So yeah, that is the update. We're going on another trip. I feel really, really fortunate to be able to do it. Really, really lucky, and just so happy that I can take the boys away again. I feel like I kind of just want to do it while I can. You know, who knows how things are going to change in the future. So I have already checked out insurance. It is nowhere near as much as it was for Avery in America. So yeah, that's a bonus point. And yeah, at the moment Avery is still very much fit to travel. Who knows if she will be in the future, and I just want to give her as many experiences as I can. I know that she tolerates flying really, really well. I know that she tolerates time differences. I mean, I'm pretty sure in Spain it's only like an hour's time difference anyway. Now, I'm no stranger to Spain. Spain was my destination when I was little, and my mum used to take me away. I've been to Spain many a times. I've never been to this particular area before. I think it's about an hour away from Alicante. So really, really looking forward to it. The other thing is we are actually going to try and do this trip with hand luggage only. So I have already reached out to the special assistants of one of the airlines, the one that is more strict, just to ask if we will get an extra bag for Avery's medical equipment. If we can, then great. If not, I may need to pay a bit extra. I still don't want to do checked luggage. I want to just try and do hand luggage. We're flying with EasyJet on the way there and Ryanair on the way back. Now, Ryanair have really tight hand luggage policies, so you can only take 1 piece of hand luggage, and it's got to be a ridiculous size. I think it's like 40 by 20 by 25 centimeters, so a really small bag. So the likelihood is, if we don't get a medical bag for Avery, then we may need to pay for an additional carry-on suitcase, or we may need to do that anyway, even with additional hand luggage for Avery. So but either way, just trying to do it hand luggage only. It saves time. Overall, it does kind of save money as well. Yeah, it'll be a challenge I'm looking forward to. And we didn't need all of our luggage for America, and we went for 2 weeks. So I've got high hopes. I might be wishful thinking, but I'm going to try my hardest. We're going to go really minimalist, only take exactly what we need. And even then, probably a little bit less, because we can rewear things. So yeah, that's the plan. Off to Spain in August.
Baby, you give me ice. giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Can't twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just twist your body and mine. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time. Oh, but I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak.
So it's a bit later in the day now. It is about 6 p.m. and I'm just putting on record that I would not be shocked if Avery ended up in hospital tonight because she's now spiked a fever.
She's still happy though. Aren't you, pretty? You're still happy? No? Still a happy girly, just very, very hot. And your breathing's a little bit laboured, isn't it? Don't worry guys, this isn't choking her. But yeah, we are on high alert for seizures tonight, aren't we, Puds? Hey?
Morning guys. We made it through the night without having to go to hospital. It was a rough night though, I am not gonna lie. We were definitely on high alert for seizures just because she was going exactly the same way as she did the day before her birthday, and as you guys know, we spent her entire birthday in hospital. So we set alarms to be giving her paracetamol and ibuprofen through the night just to try and keep her fever down. Her heart rate was pretty high again, that's kind of to be expected though with a high temperature, and her temperature did go down a bit just as she was going to bed, which was good, but then it spiked again at around 12:30. Now at this point I couldn't actually give her any medicine until 1:30, and I'm pretty sure she had another seizure at that point. It was kind of difficult to tell because it's a little bit different to the seizures she's had before, but then her neurologist said that all of her seizures could look totally different. This one, her body was completely still, but she still had that same raspy breathing that she gets when she has seizures, and her head was turned to the right and she was just staring at the right, and she wasn't moving, and I couldn't get her attention. I tried turning her a little bit and her head just didn't want to move and her eyes didn't want to move from where they were. Pretty sure that was a seizure, and I actually spoke to Avery's community nurse this morning who also said it sounds seizure-like. So yeah, she did come out of it on her own. It lasted about 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, and then she went back to sleep, and then I set an alarm then for 1:30 to go and to give her more medicine, and then it was pretty smooth sailing for the rest of the night after that. She did go off to sleep, and I'm pretty sure her temperature must have come down because when her temperature was up, her SATS monitor was going off every couple of minutes because her heart rate was so high. So yeah, I think we had another little seizure, but this one was much more manageable. There was no hospital admission, no rescue med needed to be administered, which was really, really good. Her nurse said that perhaps because her levetiracetam, her seizure med, is now up a bit more. We increased the dosage the last time she had seizures. Hopefully that might keep them at bay. Didn't keep them completely at bay, but it definitely was nowhere near as bad as the last set of seizures that she had. Now her nurse did say, you know, you could still be expecting a big seizure, so just keep a very close eye out. You've got the rescue med, you've got your epilepsy plan, call 999 if needed. So I'm just watching her closely today. She is still very coughy and spluttery and grumpy, as you can tell. She keeps biting her lip and leaving indents in it, which I know is hurting her, but she just can't help it. But her temperature has come down. She still feels a bit clammy, but she doesn't feel as hot as she did yesterday. Last night around 5 o'clock she spiked a fever, and paracetamol wasn't actually bringing it down, so I gave her some ibuprofen with her last feed, but then she was kind of coughing the entire way through that feed, like literally wouldn't stop coughing, and I think that ended up triggering her to throw up. I mean, she must have kept some of the ibuprofen down because her temperature did come down when I put her to bed. She was just kind of a bit clammy. But the issue was, I put her to bed in what she's wearing now, so she's just wearing a short sleeve vest, and originally I put her over the quilt, but under a blanket, just a lighter blanket, just trying to keep fevers down. But she kept waking up within the first few hours shaking because she was cold, so I did end up having to put the thicker quilt over her, and that seemed to keep her a bit happier. But then she spiked a fever. It was a lot of juggling, a lot of trying to figure things out. I think ultimately, oh dear, this is kind of the same as what it was like last night. She's just really phlegmy and seems to be struggling to get whatever is stuck out. We have been using a nebulizer. I will probably give you another round on the nebulizer in a bit, eh? What do you think? Okay. So yeah, fingers crossed we get through this illness without a hospital admission. That would be nice. We did pack bags last night though. We packed up Avery's baby bag with some like spare clothes with her, lots of extra nappies. I packed up all of her kind of meds and feed and syringes just in case, because we were so convinced that we were going to end up going into the hospital last night. I think I'm going to leave her baby bag packed today, possibly even tonight, just in case. I'm hoping that we're kind of out of the worst of it now. Normally when she spikes the fever, it's usually around 12 hours, and that's kind of the peak, and then it starts to get a little bit better. I'm hoping that that will be the case. I will definitely keep you guys updated with whatever happens. Speaking of updates, guys, by the way, complete change of topic, but we are now on TikTok. I finally bit the bullet and joined TikTok because apparently it seems to be the place to be at the moment, and I was adamant that I didn't want to join TikTok because YouTube's a lot of work on its own, but I figured I'm kind of getting into making YouTube shorts, and TikToks are kind of the same thing, so I'm hoping I can repurpose some of it. So yeah, if you are over on TikTok, then definitely look for us. We are just Mummy and Avery, and there's already a few nice little videos on there, isn't there, Puds? Hey? I swear, everything now requires video content. Like, what happened to the day when Instagram was just pretty pictures? Yeah, it definitely makes doing this a little bit harder, but like I said, I'm hoping I can repurpose a lot of it. And I'm not gonna lie, if it gets to the point where, you know, doing everything that I'm doing starts to come in between, you know, Avery's care, or, you know, just gets a little bit too overwhelming and on top of me, then I will pull back a little bit. But for now, we're okay, aren't we, Pudding? So I just got off the phone to the doctors. I decided to give just our normal GP a ring, just to see if I can get her seen today. She's still not really feverish anymore, but her breathing is still a little bit raspy and a little bit laboured. And she also is coughing quite a bit still. This morning she coughed up some phlegm. It's clear, so that's a good sign, but I just want to get her lungs checked over. Make sure she doesn't need any antibiotics. Oh, baby. So, I'm about to feed her again. I'm just getting her dressed at the moment so that if the doctor does call, or when the doctor does call, it's okay. She's pretty much ready to go for when he gives her an appointment. The doctor's surgery are really good about it actually. I think I've seen a massive difference between our old surgery and this surgery. This one, as soon as I said complex medical history, she was straight on it, like, yeah, I'll get you seen today, or I'll get the doctor to call you today. So, yeah, I'm just gonna get little madam dressed. She's not too happy with me for doing it. And then hopefully it won't be too long before we hear back from the doctor. We've got an appointment, so I'm just waiting for the kettle to boil to clean Avery's tube, and then I'll be getting her in the pushchair and we will be heading off to the doctor's. He hasn't really given me a time limit, he's just said get her here as soon as you can. So yeah, get her chest checked out and just make sure there's no nasty chest infection going on. We're home from the doctor's surgery. I lost my phone on the way. I didn't realise until I got home. I thought that I'd just left it at home. Josh was home from work by the time I got back, and he said he had to go pick it up from the police station, so I must have just dropped it on the way and not realised. So the doctor said that he could hear some slight crackling in her lower right lung, which kind of indicates that there could be a bit of a chest infection there. From her last chest x-ray, we know that she could have a bit of a co-current chest infection, so it could have just kind of gotten worse from that. So he has prescribed her with some amoxicillin. Josh has just gone to go and pick it up. So we'll get her started on that. Hopefully it'll go away. I wouldn't be surprised if her temperature spiked again this evening. It tends to be evenings if it does get bad, and she is still quite not well. You can tell that she's not well. So it's going to be another kind of high alert night, I think. Hopefully once we get through tonight we should be kind of through the woods then, and we can start getting back to normal again. I hate it when she's poorly, I really do, but I am glad in the sense that the last time she was poorly was 2.5 months ago, which is a huge improvement since this time last year when she was literally poorly all the time, like back to back. So that is a bonus, and I think that it is the azithromycin, the prophylactic antibiotic, that has helped with that. So yeah, I think I am going to close this vlog off here just because there's not going to be that much going on this week, mostly because I am just keeping a very close eye on Avery. So don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, and if you aren't subscribed already, I would love it if you would, and follow us along on our journey, and I will see you in a few days with another video, hopefully with a better Avery.